hello to my subscribers. You may type in your names and location to be acknowledged in the next video. And disclaimer, some contents taken from different maternity nursing textbooks and some photos from websites and a short clip from Science Nature page. And thank you for my graphic artist. So without further ado, let's start para makadami tayo. Okay? Last menstrual period or the LMP. The LMP, this is the first day of the last menses, okay, or it's the first day of the menstruation. Okay, so for example in here it's November, so when was the last menstrual period of the woman? So example is on 27. Okay, so how many days the woman have menstruation? So maybe let's say 3 days. Okay, so with this data we consider the November 27 is the last menstrual period. It's the first day of the last menstrual period. Okay, it's not the 29. Okay, so that's it. So for us, we need to monitor our menstruation, whether married or not. I will write the link in the description box, the clip about menstruation. Okay. So, estimated date of delivery, EDD, estimated date of birth, ADB, or estimated date of confinement, or EDC. During my time, we used to use EDC, right? But we are not using estimated. It's the expected date of delivery or expected date of confinement, like that. So, when we say trimester, this is the length of pregnancy divided into 3 months segments. So, the first trimester is from weeks 1 to 14. The second trimester is from week 14 until week 28. And the last trimester refers to the week 28 through delivery. Okay? Then gravidity. So when we say gravidity, it's the total number of women's pregnancy including the current one. Okay? So gravidity is the total number of pregnancies regardless of the outcome. Okay? Multigravida. So from the word multi, right? Multigravida. So it's a woman who has had more than one pregnancy. Okay? In contrary, Primigravida. So this is a woman who is pregnant for the first time. All right, next is parity. So parity, this is the number of pregnancies carried to the 20th week of gestation or that delivered an infant weighing more than 500 grams regardless of the outcome. Okay? So, it is the number of times that she has given birth to a fetus with a gestational age of 24 weeks or more, according to some authors. Okay? So, it is regardless of whether the child was born alive or was stillborn. Okay, next, Nullipara. So, when we say Nullipara, it's a woman who has never carried a pregnancy beyond the 20th week of gestation or carried a fetus weighing more than 500 grams. All right, Primipara. So Primipara, it's a woman who has been or is currently pregnant for the first time past the 20th week of gestation. Okay? Okay, so any question with the parity, Nullipara, Primipara, and Multipara? Okay, so in here, it's something about preterm, full term, late term, and post term. So when we say preterm, it is the fetus born alive before the 37 weeks of pregnancy. Okay, or in short, up to 37 weeks. Okay, so actually there are subcategories of preterm birth. It is based on the gestational age. Say full term, the pregnancy lasts for about 280 days or 40 weeks. Okay, actually it's from 37 to 42 weeks gestation. Okay. So, it is considered full term if the baby born between 39 weeks and 40 weeks. It can be from 40 weeks to 6 days, can still be considered as full term. But if it is late term, the baby is born between 41 weeks up to 41 weeks and 6 days. Okay? And when we say post term, the baby is born after 42 weeks. Gestational age is the common term used for pregnancy or during pregnancy. That is to describe how far along the pregnancy is. So it is measured in weeks from the first day of the woman's last menstrual cycle to the current day. Okay, remember class, current day. So kung kailan siya pumunta sa center at nagpa-check up, that is the current day. Okay? So, a normal pregnancy can range from 38 to 42 weeks. Gestational age can be determined before or after birth. Okay? So, before we compute, we should know first the days per month. So, don't be confused if February is 28 or 29. So, it's not a sin to look at the calendar to be sure. Anyway, I will show you how to remember the days per month. The bony part are 31s and the in-between are the 30s. So, it is like this. First January, this is the February. Okay? Then, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So, let's try to compute. What was our LMP? It's November 27, 2022, right? So, from here, I will write this is the LMP. 30, right? So, 30 minus 27 is 3. So, we will start here by 3. Okay? So, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Today is July 14. Okay. So, November, how many days? November, so it's 31. January is 31. February is 28. March is 31. Then April, 30. May, 31. And June is 30. So, by that, we need to add all of these numbers. Okay? So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 19. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So, we have 229 days. Okay, so we got 229 days. So, how to compute the weeks of gestation? So, it is 229 divide 7. Why 7? Because it's this 7 days in a week. Okay. So, 22 divided 7 is 3. So, this is 21. So, 1 and 19. And so, 19 divided 7 is 2. So, this is 14. And 5. And so, because it can't be, so we can add 0 here. So, 50 divided 7 is 7. So, 7 times 7 is 49. So, 1. So, we can add another 0. So, 10 divided 7 is 1. Okay, so this is 7. So, maybe this is enough. So, we have 2 decimal points. So, 1, 2. Okay, so it is what? 37. It is 32.71 weeks. But, how to compute this 0.71 into a days? So, 0.71 times 7. Where did this 7 came from? From the weeks. Okay? So, 7 times 1 is, of course, 7. Then, 7 times 7 is 49. Then, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, it's 4.97. So, we need to round off it to 5. So, 5 days. So, in short, 32 weeks and 5 days. Okay? So, if you have any question, just send me a message. Then, I will answer it right away. Okay? So, what is our next topic? Oh, it's implantation. During fertilization, the sperm and the egg unite in one of the fallopian tube to form a zygote. And then the zygote travels down to the fallopian tube where it becomes a morula. Once it reaches the uterus, the morula becomes a blastocyst. The blastocyst then burrows into the uterine lining. So that is implantation. Okay, that is where we came from, or that is where we started. So the zygote phase is brief, lasting only about 4 days. Okay, so around the 5th day, the mass cells becomes known as the blastocyst. Okay, so see in just how many days. So a morula is formed after 3 to 4 days of fertilization, and the blastocyst is a hollow cellular mass of cells formed after 5 to 14 days of fertilization. The morula transforms into the blastocyst within the period of 1 to 2 days. Okay. Anyway, I will upload a video on the menstrual cycle, and I will put the link in the description box for you to know the fertilization may happen in a matter of 30 minutes. Okay? So it depends on the sperm cell capacity to swim and meet the egg. Okay? And actually, I will show you a clip. It's just a short video. I get it from Science Nature. Okay, so life is really that miracle, no? Ayun. So, presumptive signs of pregnancies. Based on the pictures, you can see, right? Actually, these presumptive signs of pregnancy are subjective signs that is self-reported by the patient. This may be caused by other medical conditions and are the least reliable signs of pregnancy. Okay, this includes amenorrhea, breast tenderness, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, quickening, skin changes, and urinary frequency. So once these signs were reported by the patient, the health practitioner needs to confirm it with some other test. Okay, like any one from the probable signs. Okay, so when we say probable signs of pregnancy are the objective observations noted by the examiner. However, a pregnancy diagnosis can't be made using these findings alone. Like abdominal enlargement. Okay, so when we say abdominal enlargement, there is this increased abdominal circumference. The fetal abdominal circumference is a measurement widely used in obstetrical antenatal care. So these measurements can be plotted as the patient's development further, okay, from 25 weeks up to the delivery, or 35 weeks and more. Okay, so there will be a continuation of this discussion on the next or later, okay, about the measurements. Okay. So next is Braxton Hicks contraction. What is this? So this is an intermittent and irregular contraction that do not cause cervical dilation and effacement. So this contraction is also known as prodromal or false labor pains. Okay, there are contractions of the uterus that typically are not felt until the second or third trimester of pregnancy. So this contraction are the baby's way of preparing for true labor. Okay, but they do not indicate that labor has begun. Okay. Then Chadwick's sign. Chadwick's sign, there is discoloration of the cervix and the vagina into a deep blue-violet colored caused by increased vascularity of the area. Okay. And this sign is a non-specific or early sign of pregnancy that is typically characterized by a bluish discoloration that includes the vulva. Okay. And of course, this can be typically be observed as early as 6 to 8 weeks after conception and commonly disappeared shortly after birth. Gödel sign, there is the softening of the cervix. Gödel sign refer to the probable sign of pregnancy that is characterized by softening of the cervix. So, it may occur due to increased blood flow noticed in the cervix during the first 4 to 8 weeks of pregnancy, which can also give the vaginal part of the cervix a bluish appearance. Okay? Like in a Chadwick sign. Okay? Then Hagar sign. So, same with the Gödel's, but in here, there is the softening of the lower uterine segment. Okay? So, Hagar sign is a non-specific indication of pregnancy also that is characterized by the compressibility and softening of the cervical isthmus. So, where is the cervical isthmus? So, it is located, or it is in the portion of the cervix between the uterus and the vaginal portion of the cervix. Okay, then the last is positive pregnancy test. Okay, so here in the positive pregnancy test, it can be through urine or through serum. Okay, so we are done with the probable signs of pregnancy. For the gestational age assessment, one way of getting the age of the fetus is through Nagele's rule. Okay, so in here we need to know the last menstrual period of the woman. And if the woman have a LMP within April to December, we need to subtract 3 in the months and add 7 for the days and add 1 year. While if the menstruation or the last menstrual period falls on January to March, we can add 9 for the months and add 7 for the days. So no need to add for 1 for the year. Okay? So maybe let's have some example. So November 27, 2022, this is the LMP that we had in our previous example. So November, it's in here. So minus 3 for the month and add 7 and add 1. Okay, so this is 2023 and this is 34 and this is 8, right? So what is 8? 8 is August. August 34, 2023. But there's no August 34. It's only up to August 31. So what to do? So the 31 days here, we can put it here. So we need to add 1 month. So it can be September 3, 2023. Okay? That's it. Any question? Okay, let's have another one. For example, February 12, okay, 2023. So because this is February, we can use this one. So plus 9 and plus 7. Okay, so this is 11 and 19 and 2023. Okay, got it? Okay. Another one. Example, March 31. Okay, 2023. So, plus 9 plus 7. 2023, 38, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, what to do with this? How many days in December? It's 31. So, minus 31, there will be a remaining of 7 days. So, it is January 7, 2024. Okay? Common sense. Question. Parang nasa school lang. Question. I hope you understand. And actually, it's really that easy. We just need to analyze also. Okay? We just don't need only to compute, but to analyze. Okay? So, pregnancy well calculator. So, this tool may be used to determine the EDD based on the first day of the LMP. So, the estimated due date is the date that spontaneous onset of labor is expected to occur. So, the due date may be estimated by adding 280 days, okay, to the first day of the last menstrual period. Okay? So, example here. So, the LMP was in February 4, 5, 6, 7. So, it's February 7. Okay? When will be the EDC? So, it will be on November 11, 12. So, in between of 12, kasi dyan talaga siya nakalagay. So, it's in between 12 to 13. Okay, ultrasound. So, an ultrasound may be used to obtain an estimated gestational age in the first trimester. An ultrasound is used to measure the fetal crown rump length, or the commonly known as CRL, right? So, this CRL measurement is the most accurate way to date a pregnancy. So, in the second and third trimester, the biparietal diameter, head circumference, and abdominal circumference and femur length are measured to obtain an estimated fetal weight and gestational age. Okay? So, fetal heartbeat, this may be detected as early as 5.5 to 6 weeks via transvaginal ultrasound. Okay? In 11 to 12 weeks using an electronic Doppler device. And if it is 19 to 20 weeks, using stethoscope and fetoscope can be. Okay. Uterine sizing, this is useful especially in the first trimester. By performing a bimanual examination, experienced examiners are able to estimate the gestational age of the fetus. So, a non-pregnant woman or a 5-week pregnant uterus is about the size of the small pear. So, this size of the 6-week pregnant uterus is comparable to a small orange. An 8-week pregnant uterus is similar to size to a large navel orange. And a 12-week pregnant uterus measures about the size of a grapefruit. Okay? So, any question? Fundal height measurement. So, how is this? So, the examiner measures the size of the uterus from the pubic symphysis to the fundus. So, it is from the top of the uterus. So, it is between 16 and 38 weeks. Gestational age correlates with the measurements in centimeters. So, it can be plus 3 or minus 3 centimeters. Okay? So, what to use? We need to use a tape measure that measures the centimeters. Okay? Place the zero marker at the top of the uterus. Move the tape measure vertically down your stomach and place the other end of the top of what do you call this? Pubic bone. So this is the fundal height measurement. Okay? So the method involves measuring the distance between the symphysis and the top of the uterus with a tape or the measuring tape. Okay. Quickening. So, quickening, this initial awareness of the fetus by the mother usually occurs between 16 and 22 weeks of gestation. Okay? So, quickening is when a pregnant woman starts to feel their baby's movement in their uterus or in the womb. It feels like flutters or bubbles or a tiny pulses, right? And quickening happens around 16 to 20 weeks in pregnancy, but some people may feel it sooner or later, okay? Why does quickening happens, right? So, a person may feel like the baby is restless inside the tummy, rolling and jumping and stretching all around. Actually, the first prenatal visit is in the first trimester. Okay? So, monthly until 28 weeks of gestation. Bi-weekly from 28 to 36 weeks. Weekly from 36 weeks to delivery. More frequent visits may be required if the patient is diagnosed as having a high-risk pregnancy. What is the routine prenatal assessment? Okay? Actually, there will be a recording of the blood pressure, the weight, and the height. Okay? And there will be a review of the family and medical history and some discussion about genetic condition, right? So there will be a discussion also of the lifestyle, of the habits that includes the exercise, smoking, drinking, and stress. Okay? The doctor may have a complete physical examinations that includes the pelvic exam. Okay? And how often the prenatal visits? Actually, it depends on the situation of the pregnancy, situation of the pregnant woman. Okay? If it is uncomplicated pregnancies, a prenatal appointment generally happen every 4 weeks until approximate week 36 of pregnancy. Okay? Then the next visit is usually around week 38 and then once per week until birth. Okay? So, question. A. So, Gravida term, preterm abortions and living. Gravida, this is the number of pregnancies, regardless of the outcome or the number of fetuses carried. Okay, it's the Gravida. Term, it's the number of pregnancies carried to the term, carried up to 37 weeks. Okay, or it's the number of deliveries after 37 weeks. Okay, preterm, class. The P in the GTPAL, it's not the para, ha? It's the preterm. Okay? Preterm, it's the number of pregnancies carried less than 37 weeks. Okay? Or the number of deliveries after 28 weeks but before 38 weeks. Okay? Then abortion, it's the number of elective or spontaneous abortion before 28 or before 20 weeks. Okay? And number of deliveries before 20 weeks, either spontaneous or induced. Then living, literal, it's the number of living children. Okay? So let's have an example. Like the prenatal client states having 3 children at home. She reports that her son was born on his due date, but her daughters were born a month earlier. And she states that she lost a baby in her second month. So what will be the GTPAL in here? So G for the Gravida, it's 5. Why? Because currently she's pregnant with the 3 children at home. T, the term 1. Why? Because her son was born on his due date. Okay? And the others were preterm, right? Preterm 2, right? Her daughters were each born a month earlier. Then A, abortion 1. Okay, why? She lost a pregnancy at approximately 8 weeks. Then the L or the living is 3. Will you write it in the documentation? It's G51213 because it's already GTPAL. Basta, remember po, the P is preterm, not para. Okay? So, if you have any question, do not forget to send me a message. Okay. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for watching, class. Bye-bye. See you next time.